what stunning landscape Ninh Binh has to offer. I've travelled 5 hours from Binh, where I've watched the landscape change from wide rice paddy terraces to tall limestone hills. Now, the best way to get around is by push bike. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's relaxing, and it gives you time to soak it all in. And you know what? After all the great food I've been eating, the exercise doesn't hurt either. With royal relics, caves and pristine rivers, Ninh Binh province has everything and is one of the most beautiful places I have ever been to. Only 100 kilometres from Hanoi, you can understand why many locals from the city visit Ninh Binh. It's rich in culture and considered one of the original sacred lands, with many of their ancient sites being heritage listed. Ninh Binh has been pretty much a secret location outside the shores of Vietnam. Such vast, unadulterated beauty couldn't remain secret for long. Now, if you look over here, it looks like we've got little beautiful pink flowers blooming, but they're actually snail eggs. Look at that, they're so pretty, and each one of these eggs creates around 100 snails. And the type of snails we're talking about, they're pretty big, aren't they? I'll take these out, stir fry them with lemongrass and garlic, maybe a bit of chili. Beautiful. One of the main incomes for the local people is rowing boats for tourists. It's very organised, and many of the rowers even practice hours before going out and sometimes test it on their skills. It's a very serious business. I'm in Tam Kop on Ngo Down River, where we're cruising down, visiting 3 caves amongst limestone casts. It's really peaceful here, very tranquil. It's probably one of the most romantic places in Vietnam. Pity I'm here alone, sitting with my snails. Well, that's what I'm going to make for you today. They're big snails, or escargot, which is basically edible snails. A really easy dish, and a dish that you find all through Vietnam on the street. Put some water in there, around 1.5 cups. Bring that to the boil. I've got some snails here. I've got around 500 grams. These are really big. Now, you need to wash these 3 times in salty water just to get all the grime off and the sliminess off. Now, when you put them in water, wait for them to rise to the top. If the bottom here sticks up, then they're already dead, so you need to get rid of them, okay? Clean 3 times. Mortar and pestle, ginger. I don't want to pound it to a paste. I just want to bruise it so all the flavour comes out. Lemongrass, lots of lemongrass. And chili. Just going to bruise that all together. Now, I don't want to do it up here because everything will probably topple over into the river. Okay, looks like my water's boiling. Open her up. It's pretty hot, but that's okay. Okay, pour that all in. All right. Now that's smelling great already. I'm also going to add in some lemon leaf. Now these are young lemon leaves, not the kaffir lime leaf. It's a little bit more subtle and delicate than the kaffir lime. I'm going to bruise some of those up and throw them in as well. Really, really, wow, so fragrant and really, really fresh. I'll throw that in. And now I'm going to put my snails in. All you need to do, throw these in there and cook them for just 5 minutes with the lid on. Room for 2 more. Lid on for 5 minutes. Now, while I'm waiting for that, wow, it looks like we're going through a cave pretty soon. It's getting really dark and mysterious. Now, while I'm waiting for that to boil up for 5 minutes, I've got some fish sauce. Now, when you're making fish sauce, I mean the sweetened fish sauce, the nuoc cham with vinegar, sugar, water, and fish sauce, make a lot and put it in a bottle and leave it in the fridge for later. This is what I prepared earlier. Put that in your bowl. That's for my dipping sauce. Now, I've got some more ginger here, julienned up, put into my mortar, some more lemongrass, and some finely sliced lemon leaf, and a bit more chili. Pound that up again, a bit finer than last time, and I'll throw that into my dipping sauce. It's almost ready. Another 30 seconds and I think it'll be fine. Joy, chú làm phường này lâu chưa? Chắc mấy chục năm rồi hả? Wow. He's saying that he's been doing this pretty much all of his life. As they are born in this local area, they grow up, and the first thing they're taught to do is this. I mean, this Tam Kop area is really popular with local tourists as well as tourists from abroad as well. So it's a really busy industry for them. It's quite amazing, isn't it? All right, I'm going to put that into my fish sauce. Yum. Mix that up a little bit. Look at that. Oh, the lemon leaf really makes a difference to your dipping sauce. This is how they do it up here. When you're moving towards the north, lots of lemon leaf. I think that's about ready. Open that up. Scoop it into my bowl. Wow. Oh, yes. That is good. How great is this? I bet this has never happened. Someone cooking and eating snails on this little canoe, or this little boat here. Now, all I need now is my toothpick. Oh, that's hot. It's too hot. Into my tea towel. Put the toothpick in, twist the shell, and out she should come. Dip that into your sauce with your ginger, lemongrass, lemon leaf, and chili. That tastes fantastic. A textural delight. Escargot cooked in lemongrass, ginger, and lemon leaf. Oh, looks at. Pasta, pasta. You can hire push bikes from the many hotels in the local area for about $3 a day and cycle with the locals as they go about their daily routines. On my travels, I heard the distinct sound of ducks, so I had to investigate. Now this is Mr. Tuan, the town's local duck farmer. Now he sells the duck eggs to the markets and he has to feed the ducks first 3 times a day. They feed for 2 hours and they go from rice paddy to rice paddy, feeding on prawns, crab, fish, snails and all the worms that come up as well. And it's quite a beautiful thing to watch and to listen to. He calls them in their own language. And nice agil duck. Ak, ak. Now in Vietnamese, ak, ak doesn't mean duck, 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 but that's how he communicates with them. So let's try to get these ducks over here. All right, Gildy, up. You can say ak, 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 ak. Get it. Ak, 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 ak. Được không? Was that good? Yeah, it says I'm pretty good. Ak, 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 ak. Kitty. Sounds like here, kitty. Ak, 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 ak. Now I asked Mr. Tuong here what his favourite local dish is. Now luckily it's not duck, because these ducks are a bit too old anyway. They're only raised for their eggs. But his favourite dish is pork neck, wok tossed with Asian celery, capsicum and a sweet and sour sauce. Now I like to use pork neck because, you know what? It's still got its fat through there. It's a little bit lean, but it's got so much flavour. Now a little tip, if you don't like to eat lots of fat or pork fat, don't put it in, okay? So I'm going to slice a bit up for you. You probably need around 300 grams. Finely slice it. As fine as you can. Sharp knife. And you're just going to marinate that with a bit of sugar and fish sauce. Now, simple marinade. The rule is 1 tablespoon of sugar and 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Nicely well balanced. Now, you'll probably notice with my cooking, I like to always have a bit of sour, a bit of sweetness, a bit of saltiness, and a bit of spice as well. Now, Vietnamese food, that's what it's all about. Have the balance of flavour. And the right amount, though. You want it all balanced and delicate, okay? Dissolve the sugar. Now, you just need to marinate that pork neck for 20 minutes or so. So I'll pour that in, give it a bit of a massage, and now I'll make my sauce. Some sugar, so sweetness. Some white vinegar or rice vinegar, so you got that tartness coming out. Some tomato sauce or ketchup. And some lemon juice. Squeeze that in. And I've got some potato starch here dissolved with some water. That's just to thicken the sauce later on. Pour that in. And mix that again. So I'll put that sauce aside and I'll start cooking my pork and vegetables. Now I'll turn the gas on and make sure that the wok is really hot. Now before I cook my pork, I don't want to confuse the duck, so I'm going to let him go home. Rồi, anh về đi, cảm ơn. Thả nó về đi. Vâng, cảm ơn anh ha. It does work. There you go. Now my wok is hot. Going to pour some oil in. Mỏi chân không? Cảm ơn em ha. Okay, so a bit of garlic, a bit of red shallots, and the pork neck marinated. Ooh, that smells good. All right, toss that around. I want to seal all the pork, but I don't want to overcook it. So just a few minutes. Make sure all the flavours come out. Nice colour. And you just remove it when that's done. Okay, I'm happy with that colour. I'm just going to take it out and just let it rest for a couple of minutes. Bit more oil in a hot wok. Twirl that around. Some more garlic. Some more red shallots. Now I'm going to toss my capsicum. Now in Vietnam, this is called dalat pepper or dalat chili. Throw that in. My sweet pineapple. Now a little tip, when you're in Vietnam, ask the vendor where the pineapple's from. Make sure it's local. Because if it's from China, it's taken a long time to get here and it's not as good. Okay, toss that around. Throw in your tomato as well. So already we've got sweet and sour in the vegetables and fruit. Now I'll toss that for a few more minutes, make sure the pineapple's cooked. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to chill out, stop, and just look behind me because the scenery is just so spectacular. With a limestone cast, the ducks. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, I'm going to throw my meat back in, toss that together. Sauce I prepared earlier, give that a little bit of a swirl. In goes the sauce. Now I want to add in my onions, my spring onions, bit of chili, and my Asian celery, which is the cousin to the European celery. It's got long stalks, hollow stems, much stronger flavour, and very, very aromatic. And you know what? Very medicinal and really good for you. Essential to this dish, Chinese celery or Vietnamese celery. Okay, toss it around for another minute. That's smelling really good. Got to give it a bit of a taste test before you plate it, of course. Sweet and sour, pineapple, tomato, vinegar, the lime. Such a colourful dish as well. Totally understand why this is Mr. Duong's favourite dish. All right, I'm going to plate it to my serving bowl. The colours are just jumping out of the plate. I'm going to garnish it with a bit of celery leaves, some chili for colour and spice, and there it is. Mr. Duong's pork neck wok tossed with Vietnamese celery in a sweet and sour sauce. Heo sao, chung op. Now, when you're traveling through Vietnam and you see a sight like this, don't be too shocked and don't be too disrespectful to the vendor here. Dog is an everyday meat, just like eating chicken, duck, pig or beef. You know what? It's quite lean and really tasty. Miss Nga here sells this for 80,000 dong, which is like $5 a kilo. This area was once the ancient capital of Vietnam and chosen for its half mountain and half plain topography. It's not hard to see how the ruling kings of the 9th century considered Ninh Binh province a spiritual sanctuary. Sometimes what you stumble across is not in the guidebooks, and you should always have a good look off the main track. I was lucky enough to come across these ladies singing traditional songs surrounded by ancient buildings behind majestic mountains. I'm at the base of Hang Mua Limestone Mountain. Now I found the perfect location for my next recipe. The challenge is getting up there, 1,000 steps. Wish me luck. Now it's taken me 40 minutes to make my way up here, and I tell you, it's well worth the effort. Around me must be the most spectacular scenery in all of Vietnam that I've seen so far. So get here, Ninh Binh Hang Mua, which in Vietnamese means dancing cave. So write that down, dancing cave. Gotta come here. Now over there's goats hanging out on the mountains. So here I'm making a goat recipe authentic to Ninh Binh. Now it's called Da Ye, which means citrus cured in lime juice. But I'm going to par cook this. I've got goat here. Now what happens with this goat, it's slaughtered of course, and then it's burnt, it's charred, all the hair comes off, and it kind of cooks it slightly as well. But I'm going to slice them up Geez, that reminds me of when I was younger, when my parents had their restaurant. What they made me do was char the goat, a whole goat, put it in those little grandma trolleys and wheel it with its legs sticking out to the butcher. It was the most embarrassing time of my childhood, I think. Anyway, I'm going to finally slice that really fine. Now, it's really important to leave the skin on there for texture, okay? Now, goat meat, if you're afraid to eat it, don't be. It's not pungent, it's not gamey. You got to cook it right, and it's absolutely delicious. Now, goat meat has a different molecular structure to any other meat. It's actually really easy to digest and one of the most leanest meats out there. So, try goat meat when at home, okay? So, I've got a pot of boiling water here. I'm going to cook goat with galangal. Now, this is a galangal tree here with a galangal... No, it's not a galangal tree, but this is what a galangal looks like, okay? It's a lot spicier, more peppery, and stronger than ginger. So I've finally sliced this and peeled it, put it into my pot. Some lemongrass and some lemon leaf, just to add that freshness to it. Let that reach the boil again. Now I'm going to put some salt in and allow it to continue boiling. Then I'll put my goat meat in. Now when I'm cooking my goat meat, I just want to par cook it just to get the skin nice and tender, just for 3 minutes on rapid boil. Okay, I'm going to quickly take my goat meat out, partially cooked only. Ooh, it smells great. Now the goat meat has taken up all the flavour of the galangal, the lemon leaf and lemongrass. So it's not pungent or gamey at all. Transfer that to another plate. So now I'm going to sprinkle some sugar over the top of the goat meat, followed by some lime juice. Now what the lime does is it starts to cure and cook the goat meat. All the acids from the lime cold cooks it. Now mix that up and just let that sit for around 3 to 4 minutes. All right, let's taste that. It's very tender, very well balanced. The lime's fantastic. All right, throw that into my mixing bowl. I've got some finely sliced lemon leaves again. This adds that freshness to the dish and picks it up. Some toasted white sesame seeds, lots of those. And finely sliced lemongrass. Now the lemongrass that I use are the smaller ones. They're very young and they're really, really tender to eat. Mix that up. I'm going to pluck some rice paddy herb from here. Throw that in there as well. Again, citrus, cumin flavours would go really well with this dish. Mix that all together. Now all you have to do now is get your rice paper, pineapple, some mint, a bit more rice paddy herb, some cured goat meat. Wrap that all up. And I've got a dipping sauce of hoisin sauce, chili and sesame. Dip it in there. Such a fresh dish, authentic to Ninh Binh, citrus cured goat, wrapped in rice paper and fresh herbs. Da ye nui. I wish I had more time to spend in Ninh Binh and enjoy its surreal and sublime splendour. Our next stop is the bustling city of Hanoi, and I can't wait to explore the street food scene and meet the people who make it. Walking around the streets of Hanoi, stop at a place like this. It's a perfect lunch pick-me-up. I also go to an area where the cuisine has a bite to it. The whole area is specialised in cobra.